Wideout Wednesday. You know, last week when we were hanging our latest wideout, you alluded to a specific kind of receiver missing from the list, and I've been racking my brain all week, and then I finally figured it out.
Well, who'd you say? What'd you do?
The 5'8" slot receiver. And I'm like, you know what? This week,
there's tons of them.
We rectified that with our guy, Demario Pop Douglas.
Call him by his government
We got
name.
improve it, remove it, lube it, typically.
Okay.
But since 5'8" receivers is my area of expertise, we're going lube. All right? And we're going to educate the people on what does it take for a 5'8" wide receiver to be effective in the National Football League. Let's start with the first one. Number one, the question is, can you win on contested catches? We're going to have an out, up, and comeback. Great route, but he is stuck by Mike Hughes. You see that he wins at the point of attack even still, because they'll say, with you not having as big a catch radius, can you make contested catches?
Little squirrel route?
Pop shows that.
Squirrel?
Number two, yes, squirrel. I love it. We're going to win in space for the next one, right? Now, as a 5'8" receiver, the benefit that you give offensive coordinator is matchup problems. So we're going to put you in the backfield, and we're going to get you matched up on a linebacker in space. You wide and release, you stutter, you let your speed and quickness show the defense that if you match up against a linebacker against me, it will be a win every single time. And last but not least, the two most important things, separation and run after catch.
All right, so we're going to go to the slot here. I want to let everyone see it. It's going to be a massive play for this offense. Pop Douglas, we call this like a deep cross route. You might call it a field post because he's chewing up so much ground. Let's go back to the beginning. We're talking man coverage, winning in the slot.
So yeah, exactly. You laid it out perfectly. This is going to be a deep cross. Now, the thing that you will get tricked into doing as a wide receiver, especially in the slot, you're going to seam release, which means you're inside releasing, and you're going to put that DB in a position where you have no idea where he is. He's going to be in what we call the back pocket.
So you're intentionally, as a receiver, getting him in your back hip?
Yes.
Like right there.
And there was something on film that the Patriots saw, because they actually had a chance to hit 3 of these.
Okay, yeah.
They hit 1 for 58.
Yeah.
But there's 2 more touchdowns and probably another 100 yards out there. But you get this DB in your back pocket. Well, now we're running wide receiver and running this route blindly, which is a good thing. So what you have to make sure that you are disciplined enough to do for your separation is to give him enough of a vertical threat and not be enticed by the fact that you feel like you got on top and breaking too early to that route.
So when does that, once that receiver gets him on that back hip, this point right there, when will Pop Douglas know I'm deep enough to really win, separate, and get to my landmark with the pass concept?
What I tell wide receivers is what you have to do is not convince the DB of the route you're running. You got to convince yourself. Okay. So it's a thing where you're going to release in there, and you have to literally method act in your mind that I'm running vertical, almost like you forget that you're running the crossing, and then you snap back to it, because if you can convince yourself, you'll convince that DB.
That's how he runs with that speed still vertically?
Absolutely. So you're going to see a seam release for 10, and you're going to see him push it for about 6 yards.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 30-yard catch and run. Obviously, he makes 4 guys miss, but that's the beauty of it. You're going to seam release inside, push vertical, make sure you are patient in it. If you break it too quickly, he's going to have the ability to undercut it. Once you get his hips completely turned, you snap it, big time play.
I love it.
All right.
Stuff.
Let's go.
That's the first 5'8"er.
First 5'8"er, baby. Won't be the last, I promise you. All right, now we got to hang this up here.
You're a little short on space there.
We don't have much space, Laura. You're right about that. Maybe we. How do we figure this out?
Oh, wait a second.
Oh,
we
there
got
we
a
go.
bandit.
There, see? That's
Why's it gotta be me, man?
Damn it, Dan. You know why it has to be you.
Okay.
Wow.
We're gonna talk about that post show.
Yeah, okay.
How about they kept the Hawkalisa though?
There he is. Man after my own heart right there.
Wait, Dan, you didn't want to steal the Hawkalisa in your Louvre heist?
That was the most expensive one,
I don't
Dan.
think my wife would want that hung in the house.
And get your thoughts on the game.
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not gonna ever. I'm always a Jets fan, but like, I hate this team.
Poor kid, man.
I know. Okay.
Like graphics.
Sincereness.
Yeah, like
It's
there's
sad.
You hate him because you love him.
You did, right. Well, something like that, right? Yeah, that was the scene after a Jets loss earlier this year. Of note, he was wearing the Quinnen Williams jersey. Womp womp.
Give him a refund? We get him a new
I don't know. How does that work?
That's not how it works.
No.
That'd be a good company to start up, though. You might have something cooking there.
Businessman hot.
I got a couple other small businesses I'm thinking about
Can I
already.
return the extra small Quinnen Williams Jets jersey for full refund?
This has got to be an even exchange.
Credit.
Let's stay on Quinnen Williams. New on NFL Live, his new head coach, Rashid Shaheed, knows just how hard it is to game plan for his new D tackle.
We've played him a couple times, just played him a couple weeks ago. He's just a difference maker. Ability to affect the interior part of the pocket from a pass rush standpoint. I think 12 sacks a couple years ago under the tutelage. I'm not saying it was White Cotton that did it because Quinnen did it, but around A-Dub and very disruptive. I mean, for us, there's certain calls you make. You're aware when he's in the game because he's just so disruptive. So we had alerting calls when he was out of the game. We had to set protections based on him.
Huck, you like this move for Dallas?
I love it. A top 3 defensive tackle in the National Football League. I could see them using more 5D linemen sets. And on top of that, his ability to affect both the running game and the passing game because he's one of the best rushing defensive tackles in football, commands double teams. It opens other guys up for one-on-one situation. It actually makes the defensive line a strength, which is something we haven't said in Dallas in a long time.
Bless you. Thank you. I wanted to say that all yesterday, and I couldn't. All right, let's go to Seattle next, where they traded for Saints wideout Rashid Shaheed before yesterday's deadline. Field, how does he change the dynamic for that Seahawks offense?
Yeah, Laura, an already explosive offense becomes that much more explosive. I know that this year, Rashid Shaheed's numbers have been pedestrian. He's has averaged under 11.5 yards per catch. He was at 17.5 yards per reception last year. He was the deep threat in that, of course, Kubiak offense down there in New Orleans. JSN has been remarkable in every way, including his big play propensity. Some of that can now be handed off to Rashid Shaheed. They have depth at wide receiver, and this makes this offense very scary.
Golly, just watching that video makes you think, man, these Seahawks are so good already. All right, the Jags added some wide receiver depth, and they traded for Jakobi Meyers. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence talked about his new target today.
He's been great so far. I mean, like you said, just met him. So obviously I don't know him super well, but Mac Jones actually texted me when we got him. I guess it was yesterday. He texted me and said, you're going to love him. One of the favorite guys I've played with. So he said great things about him, and I've watched him play a good bit, and I've always really liked his game and the way he plays, and he's a great player.
Dan, how do you feel about the Myers addition in Jacksonville?
Everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Myers, have been for years. I just think he's the ultimate possession receiver. He's the ultimate work the middle of the field type of guy. And the reality for Trevor Lawrence is this. If he has people right now that he believes are going to get open, he makes daring throws. This is at the bottom of the screen. One-on-one, deep comeback. The ball's on the right hash. You got to have an absolute cannon to cut this ball loose right now. It's going to take a second and a half to go basically 30 yards across the field. Now he's going to have condensed splits. That's a massive part of this offense. Jakobi comes from stuff like this. The tight end at the bottom of the screen running the seam inside that safety. This is covered. You do not throw this ball in the NFL right now as a quarterback unless you believe in a guy that can go make a play. Hunter Long, his tight end, fully extends. That's confidence from Trevor Lawrence. Can Jakobi Meyers continue to build that? I love this throw. Backside on the in route versus man coverage. Something that Trevor had struggled about with for 2 years is just getting to that second or third throw and making it accurate. Ball's out on time, right on that wide receiver's face, middle of the field. Once again, exactly where Jacoby's going to live. Might be the throw of the season for Trevor Lawrence, and there's been a decent amount of them. He's got a flat defender almost to the sideline. You got to throw that comeback over his head, but on a line. There it is again. So with the striving of can Trevor Lawrence actually consistently take that step forward, he's got BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr., Jakobi Meyers. Can you continue to produce that way? Trevor Lawrence should have no more excuses. No more excuses.
Yeah. All right. Fascinating article on ESPN.com talking about why some quarterbacks wear a wristband for play calls and others don't. Courtney Cronin did the reporting on this, and it's just great stuff. Courtney joins us now. We're so glad to have you here, Courtney. All right, let's do this. Okay, 20 starting quarterbacks in the NFL wear a wristband play sheet. What were the reasons you discovered in your reporting about the benefits it provides?
Yeah, Laura, I heard you go to break there and you listed out about 25 different numbers and letters and words, and you must be part of a West Coast system because that can get very complicated and very complex, and I don't think that anybody was able to demonstrate this better than what we heard from Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals coach. He picked a random play call, gave it out, said it took about 3 seconds. He said, I could save about 4 seconds if I just said wristband 10, and it allows his quarterback quarterback to effectively cut out the middleman in delivering that play call into the huddle. And his quarterback now is Joe Flacco. Flacco has seen a lot of football over about 2 decades of playing in this league, but it helps truncate verbiage that changes from a year-to-year basis on many offenses throughout the NFL, and helps him get to the line of scrimmage faster so he could diagnose things and be able to change the play if he has to. And I think that there's something that's really interesting about how it varies from offense to offense. Not every quarterback in every system that relies on wristbands wears one. You go out to the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford doesn't wear one, but Jimmy Garoppolo does. It's something that he's worn throughout his career. He says that if you miss one word in that play call, that could change the entire thing. And it saved him a lot of times. Instead of trying to memorize 25 words and hear it all, he can hear somebody say left hash 52, and he can get right to the line of scrimmage and diagnose what he's about to do. Now, and there's also this misconception out there that Josh Dobbs, Patriots backup quarterback, talked about. He said, just because you wear a wristband doesn't mean that you don't understand or can't process an offense. It just helps truncate things and make it simpler when you get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what did you learn about certain teams and their concerns about using the wristbands full time? Because the way you're illustrating it, it seems like maybe it'd be a really good thing to do.
Yeah, I think the San Francisco 49ers have a great approach for this. So during the offseason, they do not let their quarterbacks use a wristband during OTAs, minicamp, any of those practices, because they want them to learn the verbiage. They want them to learn the wordy play calls that Kyle Shanahan's going to be barking out on game days, where during the year they're able to wear the wristband, but it helps them visualize the play. You want to be able to hear 3 to 4 words to be like, okay, got it. I know exactly what I'm about to call and what I'm about to run. So then you can relay it to the rest of the offense. That's something that Sam Darnold, Seahawks quarterback, said he struggled with early on in his career. Obviously, he played in a lot of different offenses, and said sometimes early on he didn't study the playbook as much. He relied on the wristband. So when you're looking down at it and you're like, what exactly does this mean? Okay, now I've got it. That comes with more repetition. That comes with more studying. But really, wearing the wristband kind of forced him to learn the playbook even more, so he could be more proficient when he saw something, and then that recognition would come right to top of mind when he heard it in his headset and was able to relay it to the rest of the huddle.
Walk us through just how quickly the 40-second play clock moves between plays.
Yeah, so for everybody at home to understand, once that ball carrier of the previous play hits the ground, the 40-second play clock starts right now, and then the coach to the quarterback would say something like, hey, we're in jacket 11, H to gun, taser left open, sick, 53, all go seam, H jerk, kill it with, flash 42 OP edge. So I got to get into the huddle and say, guys, 2 things here. Listen up, jacket 11 flips the X in the F receiver. I got 2 plays. Hey, H to gun, taser left. 8, you're starting outside, H. Open, sick, 53, all go seam, H jerk. Take your time on the route. And listen, we're going to kill it with flash 42 OP edge on 2, ready, break.
And you've got 10 seconds.
To get to the line of scrimmage, look at the defense, gather information, and then potentially change it. Kill, kill, kill. So that's why the wordiness of some of these plays becomes too much. It just becomes too much, and it's overwhelming, and that's why a team could go, hey, let's go wristband 43 this week.
And I think to your point in the reporting, the misconception is, oh, you have the wristband because you can't remember the plays, you can't get it from the headset to the huddle. And that's not the case. Even for the quarterbacks who know this playbook in and out, you come into this game with 150 different plays that we've been reading around the clock, even as a wide receiver. And when you come in and you say play 52, it eliminates, again, having to get that from the OC twice coming in, because what I need is a wideout. I need to hear what's relevant to me, which is formation. I get the formation, I get the alignment of where I align. I get the concept, which tells me what my routes are and how I run them. And then I get, whether the options are and the snap count.
I think to Courtney's point, when she mentioned 3 or 4 words can completely change the play, that's the big part for receivers as well, because as an offense, you're often going, okay, we just played Sunday. We just memorized our game plan for Sunday. And then 6 days later, we're playing again, and we could take that gun, taser left open, and it could be gun, taffy left open. And so all of a sudden, that one word completely changes the formation. And it could go 53, all go state, H sit instead of H jerk, and now it's a completely different play, but only 2 or 3 words are different.
So as a quarterback, did you like having a wristband? Did you not like it?
I didn't like having a wristband because there was one, I wanted to memorize everything because that bred confidence for me that there was no problem we would face.
Yep.
I also liked getting into the huddle, and when I heard jacket 11 going to Calvin Johnson, be like, hey, it's jacket 11, you're playing the F, not the X, and make sure that you get your depth at 15 yards and whatnot. So, like, the information that I tried to coach in the huddle, and I think a lot of starters do, is an ideal rather than me having to look down because I always wanted to make eye contact.
And that's the part that I do think matters, right? Even for a wide receiver, I want my quarterback to, yes, it's play 52 on the wristband, but he can read 2 words and almost recite exactly what the play is because he's lived in the game.
And it's also like this, like if it's 3rd and 8, I want to be able to look at him and be like, make sure you get 10 yards here, rather than reading off the band.
I want you telling me, hey, it's jacket X this, and then you're going to motion down here. Like almost,
I'm telling you what to do with the nonverbals.
Because also I know what you want.
Well, it's interesting because even on Monday night, I was talking to Jakobi Brissett before the game. Obviously, he's got familiarity with that Cardinals offense, had some time with those guys back when they were in Cleveland, but he said he's still trying to learn it on the fly, and some of the skill guys are helping him out, but he said they only know the plays where they're getting the ball.
And here's the misconception that a lot of fans, like, you hear that, and it's very hard, but it's not all memorization. It's not just plays that have random names. This is a system. So as he goes through that, the system is working in my head because basically it's eliminating choices. And the more time I have at the line, I'm continuing to eliminate ways to run routes and what the play is based on coverage, alignment, matchup, leverage, you name it.
Dan, a lot of young quarterbacks in the league right now who are still figuring things out. Would you prefer them from a coaching standpoint to have a wristband or to just not even ever rely on it at all?
I liked Courtney's report of what they do in San Francisco and certainly Chicago of you're not allowed to use it as the crutch when we can make mistakes. Now, if we get into the game, the most important thing is the operation and execution, giving us the best chance to win. So if we have to use that early on, I'm okay with that. There's also different offenses. Some offenses don't need a ton of time at the line of scrimmage. Some offenses, a Shanahan offense sometimes doesn't want overthinking from the quarterback. Get to the line of scrimmage and go play. Buffalo wants to get to the line of scrimmage, see what you're doing, and communicate with a ton of information.